And he will have watched Dom and been frustrated that Dom wasn't able to find his level, which is why our favourites have their back firmly against the wall. But what a break that is.
Yeah, and that's the only thing we have seen from Luke tonight, but he's hit 2 absolute crunchers, to be fair. And you see, he doesn't put a lot of body movement in it. He just times it so well. And a lot of people talk about it, that he's got potentially one of the best breaks on the tour at the moment.
Yeah, he's right up there. If he's not in the conversation for it with people, he should be. He has power and control.
And they've got nice route here on reds, and you see from that break they've all opened up nicely. And it's just because Dom wasn't at the races in the first match, will that play on Luke's mind where he thinks maybe his partner's not quite at it and needs to leave him too perfect?
Possibly. I mean, you've got to still play your natural game, though. You've still got to believe in your partner.
They've worked this out nicely, so they're just going to play the 2 into the middles.
Overdone it slightly. It was slightly awkward, wasn't it, going across the line, because he had to jack up, couldn't just drop it in.
No, and Dom's got to take the medicine, and
he's got to cue a good shot here.
Yeah, and the angle's going towards the 2 yellows by the looks of it.
He hit that very nicely. Still could have done with an extra few rolls up the table, just enough to be able to pull it back top side of the yellow. Another roll up the table would have meant he was right behind this 8-ball.
Slightly hampered by the yellows now. He can just get in nicely, so this will be set. He's set, and this should settle Dom down for the night as well.
Well, it will now. It's gone in. I was thinking that the way the night has gone for Dom, and I suspect they're talking about that now themselves, the way the night has gone for Dom, that would not have felt like a very comfortable 8-ball, although for a professional pool player it should have been. You just get those moments, don't you, when you know there's a bit more on it than perhaps there should be.
Yeah, but when you see that 8-ball drop and you actually feel like you've probably missed it, you're certainly taken when they come.
That was the start these two needed. No messing around in the opening frame, no tactical exchanges, just a good break and roll them in. And when you're playing, when you're having a tough start to a night, can you snap in on the back of a Scotch breaking clearance like that? So for, we're talking specifically about Dom.
Yeah, you can. And I think sometimes when you manage to get like pot 8-balls like he just has, even though it's not gone in the centre of the pocket, psychologically just getting that break clearance as a pairing and that first win on the board, first frame on the board for him, it can set him up to go, right, I'm in now, let's relax.
We'll find out if he gets to the table in this frame. It's Andy Appleton right now, who's made a ball off his opening break.
It's not an easy split on either colour set. There's work to do.
I actually thought that the Appleton close partnership would go the other way around, tend to have the slightly stronger player playing second when you sit on the right hand side of the arena, and as Andy's a tier 1 against the tier 2 of Gary, and Andy has the experience, I thought they'd go the other way around, but this is the decision they've made.
Yeah, so Andy's got to weigh up here. Does he carry on attacking, or does he just play the yellow over the corner pocket and leave the cue ball where it is to keep control of the frame? It's a good shot. The reds aren't in a nice place. And it's interesting, there's Dom and Luke are the home team, so Dom will play first in both singles, which you may have thought they may have switched the order a little bit.
Yeah, again, I would have thought that probably the other way around. Marginal call, just going on current rankings and form. Luke is above Dom in the rankings, but it's probably a bit more of a 50-50 call in how they see it. And that can be a big factor on a night. We didn't get to see much of Luke in match number 1 because of the way it played out.
No, and Dom's tried to play I think he actually tried to attack, to be honest, and tried to get the red in off the middle pocket, but it's completely opened up the yellows, and I think he can just get the cue ball in to play this yellow on the bottom rail.
Yeah, if this goes, it's a great chance. to get all square, and it has gone. Just quickly going back to the thinking for Dom and Luke, I actually think that there may be some strategy in there that they set up this way round so that if they win the lag, which they did, it sets up so Luke, who's between the two of them got the farther stronger break, he then gets the break in his first individual frame, so he gets to break the Scotch, then the individual, and you're giving him every chance to show his power there.
Yeah, and I think you've got to weigh up that balance of, do you consider the break as more important than the risk on whether the match will go down 7 frames? I personally would be looking to ensure the better player is first on the second set of singles.
Yeah, I should probably say that between the two of them, they probably will feel there is not much between them, and they are right when they're on form. It's just that Luke's been on form more lately than Dom has. Anyway, it's not them at the table right now. It's Andy Appleton, and he's 3 balls away.
And he's knocked these in really comfortably. And again, he's got that cue ball under nice control. Worked the route out well, and we're looking at 1-1 shortly. 8 ball does pass the red.
Yeah, very good frame that from Andy Appleton. We talk a lot about break clearances and perfect frames, but that may not be a break clearance, but it was a perfect frame. He put all sorts of pressure on Dom's only shot, and Dom wasn't able to come up with anything to contain. He had nothing on, really. An excellent frame of pull that from Andy.
And this is where we get, like you said, they've done the order to get Luke the most breaks of the match, and yeah, I think, as you said,
well, he would get 3 straight breaks, won't he? Because it will be Scotch frame next, and then back to them, so it'll be back to Luke, who would get the break again. So I do think there's some really good strategy in there. Oh, sorry, it would be Dom with the break in the next one, but at least Luke gets the first 2 breaks, and he makes a ball. So yeah, that has worked out for them.
And most players, with the way that break has it, he's had a great connection, but you see, they would come up dry bit, but because the timing and the power on the break, and he gets that many balls moving from it, that's last ball rolling there straight into the middle pocket, and that added bit of power that he can generate gives himself more opportunities to get balls off the breaks.
The rogue ball, isn't it? If you just hold the control break and not the power break, you don't get the ball that he's just made. Essentially, he's got both, which is huge strength for him.
Yeah, I think pool is becoming very similar to like tennis, whereby your break is your serve, and if you've got a huge serve, it gives you almost a bit of a head start in a match against most opponents.
The 2 reds in the bottom half of the table are always going to be the problem, or the challenge. Not really a problem, just have to execute 2 good shots.
Just wonder if Luke here is going to, can he pinch it enough to get over there, or is he going to settle for? You see, he's playing the one down the rail now, so that just shows how confident he feels.
It's pot and cue ball though. He's got the pot, not got the cue ball.
Yeah, it was a tough shot. I'm not sure whether, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, but he could have played the other red and left the double on the red on the rail.
Well, I actually thought he could have played the other red before he dealt with the 2 reds left at the top of the table, and then he doesn't have to connect the 2 at the bottom together, which might have made life easier for him.
He's lined up a huge shot here off the yellow. Not quite there, and again, this match, the yellows and Gary's favourite to put his team 2-1 up with what could be 7 minutes left in the match, and what would the odds have been the first exit of the night being Luke and Dom?
Yeah, completely agree, especially in this group where it's just the way it's laid out, you just fancied them to be the favourites and the partnership to beat, and they haven't shown that yet tonight. Gary could have been tempted there. There was an opportunity to push the boat out, but he's played the containing shot.
He did hit the red, So there's a no foul.
No foul, but he has left a chance here. I don't think it's as bad as it looks. Yeah, the yellow, I think, passes the red to the left centre, so it really is there for him now.
Notice Gary doesn't waste any time. He's goes full-bodied. The cue ball does travel a little bit. I can imagine Gary's, I don't see a lot, I've not seen a lot of him play, but just tonight, the pace that he plays at and the way he attacks the balls, I think he's one of them that he's very much like a momentum player, and once he gets in his stride and he gets going, he can reel off frames.
Yeah, I agree, and I suspect he's also a player that will have nights where he feels like he's not doing too much wrong, but he's just getting into a bit of problems, and almost a player that can get into traffic and pattern issues, but not on this occasion. He's been absolutely fantastic until that moment.
Yeah, the commentators curse, but that's the thing with sometimes when you play too quick, you can forget about the cue ball and the positioning, but
it doesn't matter. The 8 ball's gone in. Very close. Puts his partnership in front. Nothing you can do if you're Dom Cooney in frame 2, but Luke Gilbert will be absolutely kicking himself that he did not take that out and make it 2-1 to Team Blessed.
No, and both players are, you can tell Dom and Luke are looking, they don't seem to be too happy out there, and they need to find something from somewhere, and that's the key, is don't let your head drop, and there's plenty of time for this night to turn on its head, and at the end of the day, it is still in their hands.
It is indeed. Oh, that's an excellent break. That is an excellent break. How good's the layout? It's not great.
First look is it's not great, but if the red's planting, you can leave yourself a natural angle to develop the other one that's closest to the yellow.
If you had ball in hand, I think you'd go yellows.
100%, yeah.
But you don't have a great starter on yellows, and you're tempted by the reds if you can see a way of developing. No, he's going to take on the tough yellow to start.
This is big. Needs a pot.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference. Oh, that's huge.
And as we know, the rules that if the yellow had become stationary, it would have been Dom and Luke to the table, but it was just still moving slightly before it dropped.
Looks like the red, from our perspective, it looks like the red's in the way of the plant, but they've played for it.
There is natural position on the yellow if they do get it towards the middle. And these are there for the taking now.
I like the change, but I think that one was one you just float in to get underneath the one to right centre. He's got a little close to his work, but actually the angle he's left is okay.
That's perfect, and he's used the rail to find the natural line of the cue ball. And we are well and truly looking at a 3-1 lead for Gary and Andy. And you can see the pace has picked up, and they've found a bit of a rhythm in this match.
That ball falling in the top left-hand corner on the first shot was a big moment on the match and a big moment on the night for Team Blessed, because they find themselves 2 behind and very little time left to play. Dom was even walking to the table.
You see the little grin on Luke there, he knows.
You can see there, that was a really interesting one just to sort of touch in. We were talking about Gary and his sort of patterns and cue ball control. He wants to play everything really punchy and get through the ball. He doesn't like the idea of floating balls in. Kind of, the cue ball was doing a lot of work even through the 2 of them there because of that.
Yeah, 100%. And Can we see Dom pull something out of the hat? Needs a ball, but it's just not been his night tonight.
15-second shot clock in play.
And it's amazing how the pool gods speak when you're just not feeling right. You don't get the breaks, you don't get the splits. And usually with Team Blessed, they've become renowned for getting the nudges here and there, but for tonight, it's just not been with them.
It's not, but you kind of say, you know, they haven't really had that, but they've also had mistakes off their own bat, haven't they? In terms of, you look back to the opening match, they probably should have won the opening frame of the night. They didn't, and obviously Dom had his issues and took his time to win a frame that perhaps he should have wrapped up 7 or 8 minutes earlier, and all of a sudden the golden break becomes huge. And here at 1-0 up, you know, look at the mistake that Luke made. Fine margins, yes, but you know, a finish he'll feel like he should have made. And at 2-0 up, could this match be different?
Yeah, and this is what you touched upon with Gary, how he punches the cue ball in, but he's played really to a high standard in this particular match, and like I touched upon, he's found that pace, he's found that rhythm around the table, and he's just reeling them now. Yeah,
this has been a beautiful. There you go. We talk about him not wanting to roll one in. He rolls one in to give himself this 8 ball, and this is for the match. And there it is. Our favourites for tonight, Team Blessed, are out. They will have one more match to play. It will be a dead rubber for them. Gary Close and Andy Appleton keep their hopes alive. They get their first win on the board after the break. We will have match number 4 and a lot on the line.